Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum students. Hope all of you are fine. I am your bio teacher. In this video lecture, we will continue chapter number 4, that is about cells and tissues. Topic of today's video is history of formulation of cell theory, and we also discuss the main points of cell theory. So let's start from the Aristotle. So in the history of biology, ancient Greeks were the first who organized the data of natural world, and Aristotle presented the idea that all animals and plants are somehow related. Okay, so he presented the idea that there is some relationship between animals and plants. Later, this idea gave rise to questions like, is there a fundamental unit of structure shared by all organisms? But before the discovery of microscope in 17th century, no one knew with certainty that living organisms do share a fundamental unit, that is cell. Then Robert Hooke in 1665, cells were first described by a British scientist, Robert Hooke. He used his self-made light microscope to examine a thin slice of cork. Hooke observed a honeycomb of tiny empty compartments. He called these compartments in cork as celluli. Then Antony van Leeuwenhoek, the first living cells were observed a few years later by Dutch naturalist Antony van Leeuwenhoek. He observed tiny organisms from pond water under his microscope and called them as animalcules. Then in 1809, Jean-Baptiste de Lamarck proposed that nobody can have life if its parts are not cellular tissues or are not formed by cellular tissues. Okay, so for another century and a half, the general importance of cells was not appreciated by biologists. Then in 1809, Jean-Baptiste de Lamarck proposed that nobody can have life if its parts are not cellular tissues or they are not formed by cellular tissues. Then in 1831, a British botanist, Robert Brown, discovered nucleus in the cell. Okay, so nucleus in the cell is the discovery of Robert Brown. He discovered nucleus in cell in 1831. Then another botanist, Matthias Children, in 1838. He was a German botanist, studied plant tissues, and made the first statement of cell theory. Okay, so he stated that all plants are aggregates of individual cells which are fully independent. Okay, so first statement of cell theory was given by Children. He was a German botanist in 1838. Then 1 year later, in 1839, a German zoologist, Theodor Schwann, reported that all animals' tissue are also composed of individual cells. Thus, Children and Schwann proposed cell theory in its initial form. Rudolf Virchow. In 1855, Rudolf Virchow, a German physician, proposed an important extension of cell theory. He proposed that all living things, all living cells arise from pre-existing cells. Okay, so it means all living cells, new living cells, when they are produced, they are arise from pre-existing cells. Okay. Then in 1862, Louis Pasteur provided experimental proof of this idea that all living cells arise from pre-existing cells. After the initial presentation of cell theory by Children and Schwann, many details of cells were studied and cell theory was extended. Cell theory in its modern form includes the following principle. Now first, all organisms are composed of one or more cells. It means all living organisms, they are present on the earth, they are composed of one or more cells, mean they are unicellular or multicellular. Second point, cells are the smallest living things, the basic unit of organization of all organism. Okay, so it means the cells are the structural and functional unit of living organism. These are the basic unit of living organisms. Okay, so cells are the smallest living things. Third, cells arise only by division in previously existing cells. Okay, so new cells, they arise by the division of the previous cells. These are 3 points. All organisms are composed of one or more cells. Number two, cells are the smallest living thing, the basic unit of organization of all organisms. Cell arise only by division in previously existing cells. Let's revise the history of formulation of cell theory and contribution of different scientists, botanists and zoologists in the form of this flowchart. Okay, now look at here, 1590. Okay, Z. Jensen, he invented microscope. Okay, so firstly, Z. Jensen invented microscope in 1590. Then Robert Hooke discovered cell in 1665. Then A. V. Leeuwenhoek, he observed microorganism in 1674. Then J. P. Lamarck proposed the importance of tissue in living organisms in 1809. Then in 1831, Robert Brown, he discovered nucleus. Then 1838, Sheldon studied plant tissues. In 1839, Sivan studied animal tissues. In 1855, Rudolf Virchow, he proposed the idea that all cells arise from pre-existing cells. Okay, so he proposed omnis cellula e cellula. Okay, then 1862, Louis Pasteur, he proved Virchow's idea. Now look at, this is the complete flowchart. Here years are written, then contribution of scientist and name of scientist are written. Okay, so after a lot of studies and contribution of these scientists, then we have a present form of cell theory. There are three main points of cell theory. All organisms are composed of one or more cells. Cells are the smallest living thing, the basic unit of organization of all organisms, and cells arise only by division in previously existing cells. Now some information of Robert Hooke is given in your book. So Robert Hooke was a chemist, mathematician and physicist. His remarkable engineering abilities enabled him to invent and improve many mechanical devices like timepieces, quadrant, telescopes. His observation about the section of cork is also illustrated here. Now we have subcellular or acellular particles. So according to the first principle of cell theory, all organisms are composed of one or more cells. But virus, prion, virids are not composed of cell. They are subcellular or acellular particle. They do not run any metabolism inside them. Okay, in chapter 3 we already discussed about the status of virus, prion and viride. So they show some characteristics of living organism. They can increase in number and can transmit their character to next generation. We know that some acellular particles are not classified in any of the five kingdom organism. Okay, like if we consider the example of virus, virus shows the characteristics of living thing as well as non-living thing. Okay, that's why they are not included in five kingdom uh, system of classification. Now all of you have to revise and learn the history of formulation of cell theory and the basic points of cell theory. Thank you. Have a nice day.